So a lot of you may have heard this story, but in case you haven't, the woman who's on screen tragically lost her life recently at a Disney park. She and her husband went to a restaurant, ordered food. She had severe allergies to certain types of food, and she asked multiple times if that was in her food. They said no. They were carefully preparing everything in her food. It turns out it was in her food, and now her husband is suing Disney for $50,000. And it goes way deeper than that because this made Disney look like the world's most evil company ever. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize right now if my audio doesn't sound the greatest. I am losing breath talking about this situation because each sentence I draw is extremely long and there's not gonna be too many outtakes because this just gets my blood boiling. I'm just gonna ask you to hit that sub button right now because it's free and so I can get straight into this story. I'm also sorry if you hear weird noises in the background. I do have kittens currently and they are not house trained. So if you've not already seen the headlines, Disney is denying this man any money or compensation for what happened at the park due to them signing up for a Disney Plus account years earlier, and not a full Disney Plus account, just a trial. I also want to say it's sad the state of the world we live in since I had to get most of this information off of Twitter and other various sites. And I'm seeing a lot of Disney adults who are just defending Disney to the very end. I don't know what Disney's been cooking up, but apparently it's making so many people, trying to find every excuse to blame the couple for what happened there. So let me give a little bit of clarification on the pub they went into. I believe the restaurant was called the Irish Pub. I'll throw a picture of it now on screen. But as far as I'm aware, they chose this restaurant because it was really good at accommodating for food allergies. And they asked multiple times, and it was even stated in the lawsuit and debriefing, as far as I was aware, that they asked multiple times, hey, are you going to be able to accommodate my allergy? Are you going to be able to do this, that, this, and that? And the restaurant chefs did say yes, allegedly. And that's why they chose to eat there, and it turns out that they were not really accommodating for the allergy as the woman ended up passing away because they were not good chefs. Also, I realized the picture I chose wasn't the best, so it's a connected restaurant where that building right there is connected right next to the Irish Pub. So that is a picture of the Irish Pub, it's just that it's a little off to the right and you can't fully see the name off screen. So up on screen, you're probably seeing what a lot of people have been talking about, that Disney Plus actually has a terms in their contract saying that you cannot sue Disney for any wrongdoing, and this has been a point of contention for a lot of people. I can't find the exact point in their Disney Plus contract because I don't own Disney Plus currently. I don't have any plans to obtain Disney Plus in the future, but I do watch the Disney shows with friends. But lawyers have actually weighed in on this, and this is actually a true clause in their contract. And I know Moist Critical made a video saying he was talking with lawyers about this situation, and it can't fully hold up in court, at least not yet. The case is still ongoing, but it is somewhat able to be held up from my understanding. It's just there so that they're able to fight things. At the time of this recording, Disney has given an official response, and I'm going to read it and put it on screen just in case. We are deeply saddened by the family's loss and understanding their grief. Given that this restaurant is neither owned nor operated by Disney, we are merely defending ourselves against plaintiffs' attorney attempts, including us in their lawsuit against the restaurant. Disney spokesperson. As you can imagine, this response didn't go over too well with basically anybody or anyone with a functioning brain. I've already seen a few Disney adults trying to defend it, saying, well, oh, it's not a Disney restaurant, it's on Disney's property, it's inside of the park, that's why they chose this, and it's popularly known by Disney people and people who go to Disney often. And even if it's true that it's not Disney's fault entirely, because I did look it up, and yes, Disney is not lying, it's not owned by Disney. As far as I'm aware, none of the chefs have been fired. At least up to my knowledge, none of the chefs have been fired, which is pretty concerning in my opinion, because if someone is a chef, you have a duty. You are in charge of someone's life, technically. When someone clarifies they have a foodborne allergy, you have to do everything within your power to make sure that food comes back to them safe as possible. And the fact that the utter negligence, because keep in mind, they asked multiple times, was, not condemned, really makes me upset. I threw up some pages from the legal document up on screen regarding the terms and service nonsense. You can pause to read it yourself, but a lot of people find this to be the main issue. I want to point out the husband only asked for $50,000 in compensation from Disney parks, which is nothing to Disney. And even if they aren't responsible for this action, I just want to point out how little this money is to Disney and how much they could have just saved their reputation. $50,000 is small clams to them. They wiped their ass for $50,000. They just did a collab with Fortnite or Epic Games, and they dropped like $1 billion on that collab. Me and all my friends bought that battle pass and buy a lot of the Marvel cosmetics. They made $50,000 probably in just one day. They could have just paid this out and saved a whole lot of PR. but instead they gave this response. And even if Disney hypothetically is void of any wrongdoing considering they don't own the restaurant, does no one understand how scary it is that a terms of service that you probably signed for your Disney Plus account is the difference between life and death and getting compensated for a lot of people? This is going to affect Disney badly. Imagine signing up to watch Star Wars Acolyte and you just randomly, if you go to a Disney park and something malfunctions and you get seriously hurt, they can say, oh, you cannot sue us because you watched this show however many years ago. Again, I'm sorry for a lot of the stuttering. I'm trying to do this all in one take. And there is going to be a lot of that because this generally does just boggle my mind that this is even possible. Even if Disney wins this lawsuit, there's going to be lasting ripple damage because this is going to affect the parks for a long time. Because now families know that if they signed up for a Disney Plus account because they're dedicated fans to Disney, that they can't trust themselves in the park or at least trust their safety inside of Disney. Because now they know, because they decided to watch something like Spider-Man, that they're not safe in case of anything going wrong. And I believe people are probably going to stop bringing their children to these parks after seeing this lawsuit, or at least that'd be the sensible thing to do. Because if Disney can legitimately argue in court that you watched a certain show, so you no longer have any legal grounds to sue them, then logically my first step would just be to never go there in case something happens. And a lot of you may be thinking, well, I'll be safe to go to Disney because I never bought Disney Plus. Well, if you bought your tickets on the website, then you're kind of out of luck right there because Disney's terms of service on their website when you purchase tickets online apparently says the same thing, that they're void of any wrongdoing, just because you bought your tickets online. Yes, I am paraphrasing, that's not the exact wording, but that's basically just the gist of it. And naturally, this brought up a huge conversation about what people are hiding in their terms of service because no human can actually just read through all those lines. No human in the history of ever has read through all those lines. And if you're wondering how this is legal or if this is even legal, well, technically yes, because apparently a while ago Congress just fucked us or something. And apparently corporations are just allowed to do this now. For a lot of younger people, this has just reinforced their stance on Disney because Disney has been noticed doing a lot of shady things in recent years. At least if you've been paying attention to things like Twitter or just on the internet in general, you don't have the all sunshine and rainbows feeling about Disney that you might have had when you were a kid. But in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, we've noticed that Disney doesn't really care to take action or look like they're a great person until it affects their profit. One good example for me that I'm going to use here is The Little Mermaid. If you know about that, due to the Ariel race swap, Halle Bailey was facing insane racism due to that movie, and Disney controls how their actors have to perform. So she wasn't allowed to retaliate against a lot of those people. And, right after the movie flopped because, a lot of the Disney live action movies flopped because it's just the same movie over and over again. You've already seen it. They decided to, call out racist right after Halle Bailey was not allowed to reply to any of them. And that for me, as well as a lot of other situations, just prove that Disney is just fake as a company. They only care to speak out when it affects their profits. Some of the people who make decisions at Disney are legitimately the most evil people that have ever existed in this world. If you came up to me tomorrow and told me that Goku, Black, and the Joker were secretly the CEOs of Disney this whole time, I would genuinely believe you. And I am genuinely appalled at Disney adults who keep on defending Disney and then go out and acting like terrible people. It doesn't take a rocket science to realize that Disney adults aren't exactly the most sane people, and no, it's not because of their hobby, it's because of how they generally act. Disney adults are the same fan base of people who see an actor do something that they don't like just because they're told to do it for a role, and then they'll go and harass the actress. Disney adults will pay thousands to millions of dollars just because something has Mickey Mouse on it. Again, I don't care if you're a collector, but at the same time, you have to open your eyes to the evil that Disney kind of is. I'm not saying you can't enjoy it, but you gotta see that there's something wrong with this. As of this moment, there isn't really much more to talk about regarding the situation. The case is still ongoing, and I really hope this guy wins. And even if he can't sue Disney, I hope he can sue the restaurant because negligence is not healthy. And even if Disney is clear of any wrongdoing here, they're clearly still in the wrong for these terms of services that they're hiding in these contracts. I feel like that needs to be investigated on a bigger scale, because I personally think that's very immoral. But that's really it from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what you think about the situation. As I said, I hope he gets at least some compensation, whether it be from Disney or the restaurant, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.